So me dad stumbled down to the police station and chased him up. And eventually they came back and told us that they were closing the case because they had nothing to go off. So that was it. That's joined Solomon actually today. It's why I joined the army for a few years and didn't really scratch that itch of wanting to help people in my position. And then I moved to Los Santos to help the people that were put in my position, right? People who didn't get answers. Yeah. So I became a cop. Became a detective. Gave people their answers. It was good. I mean, Ziggy can attest, it's nice.
Yeah.
Because not knowing's the worst part.
Yeah.
But after the collapse, I told you I figured a lot of shit out.
Mm-hmm.
And I figured going back home, you know, seeing Dad and stuff, I called him some old favours down at Scotland Yard and dug up some old case files. DNA's developed a lot in the past. How many decades? And they let me crack it back open and we sent the stuff down to the lab. The reason they never found out who killed my mom was because it was a cop.
Oh my God.
That's why. It's one of the reasons why, you know, I'm pretty dead fast on things when it comes to, police and ex-police doing the things that they do, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, we gotta get through this. But we don't need to call in any favors from Solomon. And we don't need to strap Max to any propane. I don't know what we gotta do. There's gotta be a right way to do it.
I agree. Like you said, we're the last of a dying breed, and we do it the right way. And if others choose to go about dealing with him in another way after that, then that's their business. It has nothing to do with us.
I understand. Yeah, there won't be any trouble from my end.
Is that why you didn't go back to the police force when you came back here?
A little bit.
Hmm. And I guess this guy was long gone, right?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Listen, you guys are my family now, so.
And I'm sorry if my story hurts you. I just hope that you can forgive me.
The past is the past, right?
Yeah.
What we do now and tomorrow that matters.
Yep.
So what did Forte say?
He told me a lot. He explained every question that I asked to the best of his ability. At least I would hope. He wants to talk to everybody, but he knows that everybody's pretty guarded. I'll be honest. Uh, I went in the conversation very guarded myself, but he, at least from what I can believe, spoke plainly. I think it's not a bad idea to still be a little weary, but from what I could tell, he was being honest, at least from information that I've cross-referenced with everything. Uh, he learned about what Max has done and the things that he's trying to pull against you, Etta. And he's angry. Santino is.
Why did he meet with the mayor in the first place?
The mayor made him. At least that's what he's telling me.
Okay, and what was that meeting about?
He asked about, or this is what I'm being told, he asked about Solomon. He asked about me. He asked about the ADMC. And he asked about the family. He couldn't help himself about talking down to Etta. Forte said that he didn't take kindly to that. But he asked, he told Forte that he doesn't want Solomon as his deputy mayor. In fact, he wants him removed. So he started asking about what Forte knew. Forte, at least this is what he's telling me, told him what everybody else on the street, as it were, assumes. But other than that, he didn't really say anything. He started asking about me and what Forte's relationship was with me. Forte tells me that he told him that I was, a mentor figure to him. That, you know, he and I were probably the closest out of the family as a whole. He, right. Well, it. So when he said that, he didn't mention his relationship with you, Etta, and he says that he did that pretty purposefully.
No. Oh, wait. So he's saying that his relationship with any of us was closest with you. Is that
He
what he meant?
he told that to Max, but I think that he said it, or well, at least this is how he's presenting it to me. He said it in that way so it didn't direct attention back to you.
No. Okay. Yeah. No. I misunderstood what you were saying. Okay. I understand now.
Yeah. Anyway, Max asked him about Flop and what Forte's relationship was to Flop. Forte, he again, this is just what he's telling me. Said that, him and Flop are colleagues slash friends and or friendly, but just because of they haven't spoken in a while and just tensions in general, they weren't close. Max asked about my ties with the ADMC, and Forte said the same thing that everybody else does, and said that I'm friends with them or hang around them, but that is about it. Question, because I'm getting a phone call. I haven't prompted this at all, Dark. This was, something that he mentioned to me and that I didn't want to, I'm not going to say one thing or another. Irish wanted to talk to you about all of this.
Irish?
Yeah.
Who's Irish?
Oh,
Sure.
you remember Irish. Sean McQuillan. The one you openly berated and yeah, my ex-boyfriend.
What?
Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah,
who is he?
yeah.
What's he to do with this?
Oh, surprise, Dad! Surprise! Fucking hell. He's the VP.
Yeah.
Huh?
Fucking shit.
How did you? I thought that was like pretty.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't listen. I stopped my digging as soon as I found out you were a bloody member, Sunshine.
Okay, all right, sorry, fair enough. But he wants to talk to you about all of this because he's trying to get a full understanding of everything.
Didn't you, like, go off on him the last time you spoke to him?
Probably, yeah, but it was a long time ago.
Sorry, still having talk.
Yeah. Sorry. I'm just trying to lighten the mood, honestly. I needed to decompress.
No, it's fine.
Yeah.
Believe.
Yeah.
Oh my
I can send text, I just
My
can't read them
God.
at the moment.
Yeah. The small world that we live in is astounding, honestly.
I've just posed the question. Dark, yay or nay?
Sure, yeah.
He says sure, yeah.
Is he still single?
As in...
Stop, Richard.
In the next 5 to 10? Alright. Give me... I think we're gonna wrap here and then he'll probably meet with you. Or whatever you want to do, Dark.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to be there for that conversation.
Probably not a good idea, Richard. Probably not.
Oh, we're on, I think,
Dark,
decent terms.
Etta at the moment. Okay. Alright. Do you guys mind if Irish comes here?
Yeah. Tell him to bring it.
We're at the... oh, hey, my alarm's going off. Anyway, the church on Route 68.
Time to take your crazy pills, Ziggy. Yeah.
something. He's on the way. I'm sorry. What'd you say?
Nothing.
I want to just clarify. I have not. This is the conversation that Irish said that he wanted to have. Is of his own volition. I did not prompt him nor tell him to come out this way because I just wanted to clarify. He obviously, has overheard things that have occurred, so he wants
Any
to
other
get
members
things
of the
done.
club that are going to be reaching out to me anytime soon that I need to know about?
No. At least if they do, I don't fucking know about it. So
I've had Solomon, now I've got bloody Irish.
speaking of which, what? I mean, if you don't mind my asking, you don't have to tell me. What was that about?
He he was just like, listen, we've been hearing secondhand information, I'm sure, about each other for a while now. I think it's probably time we meet face to face, and it was a very respectable conversation.
That's good.
You know,
A getting to know you type thing, yeah.
pretty much, I was pretty straight up with him about a lot of things. I even asked him, like, I was just like, how much of you running for mayor was for the city and how much was for the club? And he was, you know, I
Nice.
listen, I push buttons and see how people react. And he was like, listen, it was for the city. I became a lawyer I run because no one was getting no help, and I did that for 2 months, and we got by certifying all this, and I believe him. Don't get me wrong. I think in the back pocket, is he gonna have club interests in mind? Sure, but I think for the most part, is he gonna be doing things for the good of the city? Based on that conversation, yeah. As I think a lot of people who run for mayor probably do. I told him straight up I voted for him because I think that he'd cause good conflict with Max, and I think he will. Because I think the vibe I get from Solomon is he can be not hot-headed, but he has the capability of, like, he won't back down from, like, an argument, that kind of thing. And I guess he was military, and that was right. 15 years, so yeah, he's got some experience behind him.
He used to run a private security firm back before the collapse called The Cut. A lot of his friends are really really sweet as well. I hired them multiple times while I was deputy mayor.
Okay.
Yeah.
He reached out a hand to for any assistance the family might need with anything, so that's there. But obviously, I made it pretty clear that we want to keep our hands clean when it comes to the Max thing. But at the same time, I said, listen, we're gonna, we've both got the same problem. We both got the same enemy at the end of the day. When it comes to Max, and if he wants to work with us in taking him down the right way, then I'm all for it. And obviously he cares about you two. So I think it was more of getting that understanding, and yeah, seems like a nice bloke. Though I'll be honest. See, I don't think you're ever going to tell me the truth on this, but he's a part of ADMC. I don't particularly like the fact that he said to me that he loves Maisie, and yet Maisie's telling me that he's told her that he's not part of the club. To me, if you love somebody, you got to tell him, but that's his problem to deal with once she finds out.
And he's his personal life that he tells me nothing about. So
Yeah.
But
apparently, I'll be honest, Maisie's pretty unhappy with the PD at the moment anyway. God knows what's going to happen there. Right. I think he's here.
I
What do you
heard
say
him
this guy
somewhere
is?
around
The
there.
janitor?
Sean McClellan. No, he's the VP.
Oh, right,
Stop.
okay. Listen, it's a character
He
trait of mine
goes
to mess
by
with motorcycle
Irish.
clubs.
Yeah. I
Mm.
know, I know. Character trait.
Do you not have a shirt on, Z?
I used
That's
to wear this
disgusting.
a long time
Ken,
ago.
I'm about to ruin that outfit for you. That's what Barrack walked around in when he first came back from the city.
Oh, what the
Or
fuck?
to the city. Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Listen,
Almost exactly, honestly.
Okay, I wore it before he did. Okay, he's bopping me. I don't know what to
I
say.
know, I know.
This was,
Yeah.
old detective outfit of mine, plain
So,
clothes.
if he ever sees you in it and he tries to be sassy, just
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah.
smack
I'll
him
let him
down.
know.
Smack him down.
No.
Is that
I
what
think the
Ziggy
only
wore
thing that's
when
changed out of
he
this
met
outfit is
Reggie
my
on the
hat.
roof of the court center before
That's 'cause
Reggie
it's a
died?
nicer hat.
Definitely works with the aesthetic more, that's for sure.
Mhm.
Damn, did he die? Hello?
Ziggy
Oh, there he
and
is.
No, yeah,
Jackie.
he's just slow.
Jesus.
He walks like that. Yeah,
Evening.
Evening.
Hello.
he's been a long one, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, I mean, you two have met before, but Sean, Richard, Sean.
Long time, Sean.
Yeah. How you doing, Dark?
Yeah, not too bad. How you been?
Yeah, I've been good.
Yeah?
Been
How's your
good,
dating life?
Stop.
That's crazy.
Good as
Stop.
well.
Good. That's good to hear.
Yeah.
No, guys, wait, don't laugh.
Okay, all right, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Good to hear. Well, how can I help, Sean?
That's a good question.
So you said you wanted to get caught up on things, or
Yeah.
what in particular?
Well, I guess I want to know your mindset at the moment, because obviously, you're not a cop anymore, right?
No, not a couple
Uh-huh.
anymore. No plans to be anyway.
Mm-hmm. So I'm interested to where you currently stand on everything that's been happening.
In regards to which part?
I mean, all of it.
I'll be
Stalking.
honest, there's a lot.
I'm aware. I'm also here to answer any questions that you have.
I mean, I said this to Solomon this morning. But at the end of the day, my main priority is always going to be my family, right? So that's always going to be priority number one. So that's where my head at. Is just keeping my family safe. But that doesn't mean that I'm going to go out of my way to do anything crazy. Like the things that Max has been doing. Like, obviously, thankfully, she wasn't hurt, but I heard that Rue got picked up. I'm not talking do anything like that. I'm talking about doing things the right way.
The right way for you is through the DOJ.
Likely, yeah.
much faith do you have in that, realistically?
Thus far since coming back, there's nothing that's given me any reason to not have faith in it yet, apart from the whole mishap with that Murphy case. That was pretty bad. When that gun was planted on him. But I think that was just a mess from PD as well. I get where you're coming from. I'm sure there's a lot of trust issues with DOJ and PD, and there always will be. But it don't hurt to try.
I mean, it does hurt to try, though. Because that's, you know, the grand scheme of things, right? Realistically, if you wanted to get him impeached, right, you need a whole lot of evidence that you can reference. On top of that, you will need people to turn on him, and on top of that, testify against him in court. And that's to even have a shred of a chance.
And to have a judge that isn't biased toward him.
And yeah, and that was going to say, that's not even factoring in a bad egg, because the second there's a bad egg, you're done.
Well,
you get one shot at it as well.
considering that I'm part of the group, you know, compiling all of this, you know, yeah, it's shaky at best. The only other person that can confirm Philippa's story about the extortion is Pixie, who is refusing to provide a statement because Max has made too many promises about giving her, you know, shit for psych. So, yeah.
And these are the roadblocks you'll run into for the next 2 months, and then you'll get into the third month, and you'll be barely further along than where you are now, because nobody will step up. He'll make promises to delay it and delay it and delay it, and by the time you may even have something, it won't be worth it. It just won't be. What you can hope for is a misstep, and capitalizing on that misstep, which is very much something that we will look at. Because look, I asked Ziggy what your opinion is, I guess, about like what you think we are, right? If we're just these murderous people, we know what we're dealing with Max. Max is a big fish and is a long game thing, and we may not win that, right? The only thing we can do is maybe slow it down and make it not as bad in the long run, and eventually he'll get what's coming to him. That's to be honest, the sad inevitability of what we're dealing with. But what I plan to do in the meantime is all we can do, and that is cutting off the sources that he uses, the small fish, the information he gets, the people he uses. Because soon enough he'll run out of that, and he'll run out of promises, and then it becomes money, and then, you know, money is worth only so much to people. You know, if he makes a promise to somebody, that's incentive to not double back on him. If he just pays out somebody, the incentive is gone. You know, they have the money, they'll just double back. It's the sad truth that going down the judicial route is just, it's a dead end. Unless you have something completely concrete. And even then,
I mean, I think we all understand that it's not going to be easy. And it may not work, but we still have to try. I'm sure you probably think it's a very naive way of thinking, but
I've been doing this for a few years now. Well, I was one of the only people to step up and actually do internal affairs. I've been punching up for a long time. I'm used to it. And you're right. It's never it's always a bleak horizon. And a lot of the times it don't go well. Yeah. But that don't mean I ain't gonna try. And there's good people in the DOJ. Angel, for example. She's a good one. That's a good judge. You might not agree, but she is a good judge. And there are good people on the council too. There's still a lot of good people in the city that don't want to see a timer like him sat in the mayor's seat. And then you've got a question that the way you want to do things, it's only a matter of time before that gets violent. And what's that going to turn into? And how long until he starts throwing his weight around at you? That man has written into legislation that he is in control of the police department. I don't think he's really used that yet. Not truly. You really got to play your cards right. We all do.
yeah.
So I'm not going to tell you. I don't want to tell you how to do whatever you want to do. We're going to disagree on our methods here. And I think it's a good idea that no matter what way we want to go about dealing with our common enemy, we keep it separate.
I don't think how you and I would deal with Max differs. I think impeaching him is definitely the right play. Like, look, nobody. Okay, I'm actually gonna rephrase that because I can't guarantee it. But it's not planned that it's going to turn to violence against Max. That we're gonna hunt this guy down, blah blah blah, and shoot him, whatever. That's not. It's not a plan. Impeaching him is the right way to do it. It's just a very, very difficult thing to do, and it takes a massive step up. What I'm more talking about is the people around him and how I deal with that, because you can't go after them legally. And although they are doing some very, horrible things, right? Trust me, I'm stalking people and making them feel extremely unsafe in their own home. Right? I know what that does to people. And people, and I guarantee Mr. Temple probably thinks he's, in a very good position. But people who do this for Max are not protected by Max. When it comes down to it, they're useful because they're useful. The second they don't, or the second they're burned, they're no longer useful. Go down the legal route with Max, by all means. I'm not going to waste my energy with it, because it's just not how I do things, but there's people in the club and people I know that will do it. The people he surrounds himself with and use, that's a different story. Because you can't sit there and tell me that if I brought you Ferris Temple and stood him right here, that you would want to go down the legal route with him. I
Yes,
don't
I
believe it.
can. You coming to the wrong person then, mate. Sorry to disappoint, John.
It's not a disappointment.
Listen, I get it. There's many... I don't blame... I'm going to say you guys. Because I think all three of you have probably been let down by the PD and the DOJ so many times that you probably don't trust them anymore, that they would be able to deal with somebody like that. But the moment you start letting that kind of thing happen and dealing with it on your own, if everybody did that, we'd just be in anarchy. Nobody wins in anarchy. We all lose.
I would argue that fact, considering what happened to the last government.
Yeah, and what happened?
Sanguine took a hell of... I mean, Sanguine took a hell of a toll on that government, didn't it?
Yeah, it did.
I would say that's worth it.
Yeah, everybody lost. That's my point. Nobody won. Both sides lost.
If I may, I don't think either side's winning right now anyway. I'm not saying one way or another. It's just in dire straits as it is.
Yeah. Listen, I guess silver linings of it all. I think after 3 months of Max's term, Etta can probably attest to this. But Max only goes after people who are threats to him. So if he's coming after us, it means something, right? So maybe we should use that to our advantage. I don't know how we should do that on our legal side of things. But I know he's worried about Solomon. So Max is digging around in family business, and
That's just because he wants to see me suffer. He hates that I breathe.
I understand that you've chosen the legal life, Dark. I understand that. And I mean, just looking at Yetta, I can see how much damage is done, even just not even taking the stalking into account, right? And say nothing comes of Max, and the charges go through. Let's say you get Temple, right? Let's say it's and he gets charged. He's only getting charged with a misdemeanor.
Stalking is 5 months.
He will do all that damage, and he'll walk from MRPD. They won't even fucking send him up.
Get your point. What would you have me do instead?
I'm not saying you should do it. I'm not going to tell you what you should and shouldn't do. Right? I think you can answer that yourself. If somebody who did that much damage to your family stood in front of you when you had them, right? You do whatever, right? You do whatever you feel is right, and whatever you feel vindicated, right? And what I would do, you know, it'll be very different to what you'll do, right? And it has now gotten to the point where I'm going to do whatever I'm going to do because it affects Ziggy. Simple as that. The stark reality is the judicial route, maybe the big fish, you get it, that's good. It's a big result. You know, you can be happy with that he gets impeached. But all these rats and scumbags that he uses, you go down the judicial route with them, a misdemeanor is not going to for me, that would never be enough.
We hit first with a felony. I don't think he won't knows anymore. His job's gone. What he told me anyway.
Well, you can't forget there's the Siobhan Thoroughbred Diversion Program that was just passed in legislation, so
What's that?
where they can downgrade felonies to misdemeanors in certain situations, like they did
Jesus
for her when
Christ.
she was caught
What?
recklessly driving. Listen, I wasn't there. I didn't get to vote because Sean was in the ICU. So,
Jesus
Huh?
Christ.
yeah, you'll have to read it. I don't have access to my MDT, so. But
When we're done here, I'll go head down to the city and have a read.
plus, there's also the legal pardon.
Everything that's going to keep that rat and the other rats he uses safe.
I called it from the very beginning that he was literally setting up his chess moves.
It feels like we're
And
10
it's all
moves
falling into
behind.
place. Oh, yeah. Big time. And I've been warning people, and I have been trying to legislate and trying to push things and challenge things, and I just get slapped down every single time.
Oh, God. Fuck. Give me a gun, Sean. Just kidding.
And you go down the legal route, you will be 10 moves behind every time until he's out.
Yeah. He and Siobhan have literally set things up to protect each other at every turn.
I'm not behind though. Because I know who Ferris Temple is. I know where he lives. I know more than likely where he's gotten these devices. I'll even tell you, I mean, you know he lives right down the road, right?
What?
Yeah, we learned that today.
In
He
Polito?
lives in Polito?
He owns the house, Toledo Boulevard number 2. Practically
Fuck
your
me.
your neighbor. He's also affiliated with a group.
What group?
C4.
I fucking knew he was
great.
gonna say that. I fucking knew he was gonna say that.
That's Sonia Summers' group.
It's not only him. I talked to someone recently who spoke with Murphy Braun, who's looking at houses in Polito. I know Max and Siobhan are looking at selling their house over here on Route 68. There's only 3 places they can live. One is in the south side, 2 is in Mirror Park, and 3 is in Polito. And he's got a lot of friends in Polito.
This is my nightmare. I won't even be able to walk outside because he'll be there.
Yeah, so that's what you're up against.
Yeah. So Sean, what's the club's plan for if shit kicks off? And I guess let's assume the mayor doesn't have his position anymore, and he goes back to just being a terrorist. He's got nothing left to lose. Then what?
My honest opinion about him, he's going to be at his most like powerful for the next three months. Simple as that. But it will still be limited to somewhat. Like from a legal standpoint, he can only do so much, and it's very reactionary in what he can do. Right. That's one of the main reasons we won't really do anything against him in particular, because we do something, he can react to it, he can write whatever legislation he wants, and you know, we set ourselves up for failure. When he's done, he won't have anything. He'll fall into the fold with everybody else. He'll have a bunch of empty promises that he gave. He'll probably have he'll probably embezzle a ton of money. And that'll run out. And he'll just be another terrorist. Yelling at the sky. It'll be nothing. He's got nothing else of any sort of nothing else he's solidified that will carry over when he's out of power. Because the next mayor will come in, see all the shit he's done. If they, they don't agree with it, they'll revoke it. They'll change it, and then we'll have a new one to deal with. He comes out of power, he's a dead man. So it won't. I guarantee you, it won't just be ADMC going after him.
From my understanding, there's almost a queue.
Right? That may be true, and he's probably well aware of that. So what's to stop him the day he leaves? He just wanders on down to wherever you guys hang out with some bombs that he's acquired during his term, and all the money he's embezzled, and he blows the place up. He's got nothing left to lose. Or the other terrorist, that he was his deputy mayor. And when we were investigating him, had connections that we couldn't even trace down. What about that guy? God knows how close those two got during their term.
Dark, do you even know what we're capable of?
I didn't know who you guys were till about a month ago.
Majority of us are old BBMC. We went to Sanguine. We did a whole lot of shit with that. We've had access before to a whole arsenal that would make whatever was in the army of MRPD look like nothing. The BBMC got RICO'd. They had to send the federal government down to tear us apart because the government they had here couldn't even touch us. And now the ADMC has all of that and so much more. There are
I guess
25 of us, more coming every day. And he's a former terrorist sitting in his fancy office, controlling the budget and controlling this, that, and the other. And yeah, maybe, okay, cool, you might have a few bombs. Maybe. I guarantee who we know and what we know, that guy would be skinned alive before he could even purchase the bomb he wanted to use.
all I'm saying is, I don't know whether it's worth it getting to that point of getting violent and stuff like that. I don't think it's going to be good for anybody.
To be honest, Dark, it's going to get violent regardless of anything. Whether you're involved in violence or not, that's your own moral standpoint, right? You do what you want to do. But violence is coming. We're at the starting point of it now, of shady, under the table dealings, stalking, pictures, tapping phones. That's just the start of it. The violence comes in that last month, and then when he comes out, that's inevitable. Mate, that's happening regardless of whether you want it to happen or not. Like I said, whether you're involved, that's down to you.
Oh. Okay.
Is there anything you three would like relayed to Fair Sample before I eventually get my hands on him?
God, I was gonna say tell him sleep well, but that'll let him know it was me. So Never mind.
Yeah, anything I say will implicate me.
What I'll say, and Dark will know this, and so will you, Ziggy, is as long as he's not wired up or recording anything, you can tell him whatever the fuck you want. Because it's going to be his word against what else?
Well, if I'm reinstated, I have to be beyond reproach, so I can't know anything.
We don't want anything to do with that.
Yeah, I don't want, yeah. I don't think it's going to happen, but until I know tonight, yeah.
I also don't think it's a good idea either. Going after him like that. Personally, the thing I want to do, but I personally don't have the resources for. I think you get a lot more information stalking the stalker than you will trying to kill the guy. He knows better than anybody about phone taps and cameras at this point, which means that he's got to be meeting with Max and or Siobhan somewhere at some point. I think it sounds like a pretty good place to follow him and find some information out.
Oh, I know. Trust me, when I say picking up, that's like the inevitability. That happens at the end. I know how to... I know what I want from him first. And I know how pretty good idea how to get it. This guy, from what I've known so far, he's not actually aware that anybody is aware that he has this stuff. Which makes him very susceptible to being baited out. So, that's kind of my idea with it. I kind of know the parameters of how this device is used and how close they have to be for it to work. 15 meters, by the way, so you can get on the phone and have a chat. Just be aware where you are.
Who did you get that information from?
I got sources.
What even is 15 meters? I need a reference point.
Uh,
How far of a distance is that?
It means like here to the church, right?
probably a little bit more. Probably here to the other side of the church.
Okay.
That's okay.
Yeah.
So
And we
no
assume
phone calls
it's-
at the hospital. Got it.
No phone
Yeah.
calls at the house.
Yeah, most
I
certainly.
assume it's like a sphere, right? It's like 15 up, 15 down, 15 all around kind of thing.
Oh, damn bars.
Probably.
Shut up, Ziggy.
Okay, all right. Well, you know, I actually haven't slept well in 3 months, so what's a few more?
I was talking to somebody else. I don't have the resource. I probably one or two people that have the resources or time to kind of figured out where there's a good chance where this stuff is coming from. So, you know, by all means, if you want to go down that route and figure out how to get it, or, you know,
Where's your news?
find out if it's true. Yeah. Everything a scummy journalist would need. That's what we
Yeah,
think anyway.
first told me